You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, and that would make it the 27th day of June, 2018. So glad, it seems like 5 minutes ago I said it's hump day, and depending upon your time zone, you might already be over the hump, but those of us on Pacific time, we got a few, goodness gracious, time. We'll talk about that later in the show. It really does fly, though, I promise you. Okay. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, a very special welcome to you. We are glad to have you with us. We are now in our second decade of broadcast history. We would be honored to have you grab your day planner right now and pencil us in for the next decade. And we'll wait for you. I don't want you to miss anything. All right. Excellent. Okay. Now, for the rest of you, if you can't see the chart, I have a same story every day. S&P 500 Emini Futures. If you can't see the chart, now, if you're driving or operating heavy machinery, it's best that you just listen to the radio audio stream. Okay? If, on the other hand, you're in the park or on the couch or at your desk, or maybe you're just reclining on the satin sheets eating grapes, that's fine. You can look at the charts. Do this. Go to our homepage at cfrn.net, and on the right-hand side of that page, you're going to see a big microphone. Follow the instructions. In 30 seconds, you'll be registered through the end of the month, which, according to Michael, is only a few days away. Come the 1st of July, you'll have to register again. But the good news is you only have to register once per month. So if you do, in fact, register on July 1st, you'll be good all the way through the month of July. You won't have to do it again until the 1st of August. Okie doke. We dual stream for a purpose. Sometimes the go-to software that we use here on the site has been known to have a hiccup. So each and every day we send a redundant stream out to youtube.com/CFRN/live. So you can pick up the live broadcast right there. I've tried to train myself to monitor the chat box over there, and I don't know. I guess you really can't teach an old dog new tricks, but maybe I'll keep trying. Maybe I'll practice over the weekend or something. So if you're in the YouTube room or watching live on YouTube and you post a question and I don't respond, I'm not being like snarky or stuck up or whatever they call it these days. And I'm not throwing shade at you. That's what they say. I just don't see it. So I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe you come over and hang out with us where I'm accustomed, because that chat room is just, it's on the big screen up on the wall right smack dab in front of me, and I can see that. So anyway, it was an eventful night and an eventful morning. I don't know how many of you that are listening at this moment follow us on the twitter.com/CFRN. I had a comment this morning in the live training room. I don't do Twitter. I don't follow the Twitter. I don't even know a thing about Twitter. Okay. I'll take you around the world with Twitter in 30 seconds. You go to twitter.com/CFRN. When the page loads, you'll see a button that says follow. Click it. Class dismissed. That's it. That's all you got to do. Now, you can go under the hood and you can tell it to do some cool stuff, like when I send out a tweet that you want to get an email. But unless you've got your email set up to notify you on your phone, that might not help. You can actually tell it to send you a text message or ring your phone or make a funny noise, something, so that you're actually alerted to the fact, oh, he just sent out a tweet. You could, if you're in a position, walk over to your chart and see where price is right now compared to where my tweet suggests that a trade opportunity exists. And you might say, well, that's going to be a while. So you finish watching your TV program or finish your dinner or the dog walk, whatever, and you come back, and with a little patience, it all starts to come together. I tweeted my heart out for 3 years. That was part of the public beta test of what is now known as the Concierge Trade Alerts. 3 years is a very long time for a beta test. Now, if it was broken and had bugs and glitches, then a beta test drags out for, as long as it needs to drag out for until everything works. But by the time I started the public beta test, it was already working. So I don't know if I had stage fright, if I was gun shy, I don't know. But 3 years, we finally said, okay, we got to turn this into the product it's intended to be. Now, we did the public beta on Twitter, on Seeking Alpha, and Stock Twits, because if I had done it on our own website, then somebody might say, well, you're monkeying with the timestamp or something. So by putting it out on a public site, there's no way to monkey with timestamps. Now, fast forward a lot of years, and the last few weeks, I've been sending out quite a few tweets. I think I've only missed a couple days, and there have been a couple nights where I've sent out quite a few and a lot of commentary. And I'll tell you why. Let me just be as transparent as I can be. That's something Michael and I have always promised you, that we would be transparent. Sending out those tweets, number one, it's free. No, I'm not cheap, but I enjoy free, as much as the next fellow. But it truly is the best advertising we could possibly have, because here's a trade, here's where you enter, here's where the target is, and I do need to teach you how to place your stop. So when a person who wants to trade the markets, become a consistently profitable trader, that kind of thing, when they see those go by night after night after night, pretty soon they're like, what the heck is going on? So they mosey on over, they take the trial, they spend some time in the room with Michael, they spend some time with me in the one-on-one mentoring session, and by the end of the 5-day period, they're pretty sure this is, what's right for them. So we could put up billboards, we could put commercials on TV, like most everyone else does, and tell you how awesome we are. But how much better, how much greater, how much more awesome is it to be able to say something like, I don't know, whatever it was I said last night. I think I got the Twitter here. We had 6 tweets last night. Only one of them failed to make it to its target. I won't go over them all right now, but since I got the S&P up, I'll go find that one, see what it says. Pretty sure that was one of the 6. There's Crude. Oh, and we actually had one this morning too on the S&P, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, Lordy. Oh, I was tweeting up a storm, as they say. Okay, sell the S&P 500 E-mini at 27.17 to 27.13. Hard stop as taught. Okay. And did price, in fact, go from 27.17 down to 27.13 without backing up and, doing anything crazy? It did. It sure did. Now that's 4 S&P points at $50 a point. That's $200 per contract. Now for anyone who's earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that would have been $2,000. Crude, that was the last one to trigger, fill, and run this morning. 71.20 to 71.50. That's $300 per contract. More if you trade more contracts. I'll go over the rest of them later. I don't want to keep Michael waiting too long, because he's going to pop in just a second and give us a recap of all that happened in the live training room. But if you go to twitter.com/CFRN, you can scroll down the page and you'll see all the tweets from last night. And if you have any questions during the show today about them, how you would have traded them, whatever the case might be, type it in the chat box. No one sees what you type except Michael and myself, or Bert when he happens to pop in. That's it. So your anonymity is safe. There are no silly questions. Michael and I are certainly not here to judge you. We're here to try and help you, inform you, and on occasion entertain you. So don't hold back. If you got a question, type it in the chat box. Nobody will get angry, bite your head off, eject you from the room. We just don't roll like that. All right? All right. Now, what I will tell you before Michael pops in, Mr. Zuckerberg, you may have heard of him, Mark, as we call him. Well, actually, this is his product management director, Rob Lethern. He posted some updates yesterday to the company's prohibited financial products and services policy. Now, those of you not directly related, or not, let me just say, you may not even know about this, but Facebook and Google came up with this policy a while back, it's been a few months, that they would no longer advertise cryptocurrencies, ICOs, none of that stuff. And that was quite a statement because both Facebook and Google, I mean, that's how they put butter on their bread, is with advertisements. And so for them to say, this is, bad medicine, kind of made the world step back and go, Now, frankly, I'm surprised no one sued them over it, and someone may have, and I'm not, I don't know everything. In January, it's been 6 months ago, Facebook announced the policy to prohibit ads that promote financial products and services that are frequently associated with misleading or deceptive promotional practices, such as binary options, that is bad medicine, initial coin offerings, can be, and cryptocurrency, could be. This policy is intentionally broad while we work to better detect deceptive and misleading advertising practices. We will revisit this policy and how we enforce it as our signals improve. So that was the official statement from Facebook back in January. Now, the company's been studying the best way to refine this policy over the past few months to allow some ads while also working to ensure that they are safe. He elaborates, starting June 26th, we will be updating our policy to allow ads that promote cryptocurrency and related content from pre-approved advertisers. We are pre-approved advertisers, but I'm no fan of advertising on Facebook, and I won't even go into that today. But we'll continue, he says, to prohibit ads that promote binary options. That's a wise decision. And initial coin offerings. Yeah, I don't know about that. So which ads are allowed? Lethern clarified that there are some restrictions, so not all ads will be allowed. We'll listen to feedback, look at how well the policy works, and continue to study this technology so that if necessary, we can revise it over time. Advertisers wanting to run ads for cryptocurrency products and services must submit an application to help us assess their eligibility, whether they're traded on a public stock exchange or other relevant public background on their business. They have an application form entitled the Cryptocurrency Products and Services Onboarding Request. The first question says, why are you applying? I won't even comment. The applicant can choose between 3 options or provide their own reason. The first option, cryptocurrency products and services. Second option, education on cryptocurrency. And the third option, cryptocurrency industry news. However, the company reiterated as a reminder, ICOs are prohibited still. Now, the second question asks whether the applicant has a Facebook ad account ID. Those who do not must create the account. The third asks the applicant's website domain and business details, blah, blah. Now, the fourth question wants personal information. You got to verify your domain. So they're trying to, at least create the impression that they're cracking down. And it's good. They should. There's been so much problem with Facebook and their advertising. But you can bet your bottom dollar, if Facebook is going to start running the ads again, Google is not far behind. So I just want to issue a word of caution because of all the things that they said and the very reason that they took the ads off to start with. There's a whole lot of shenanigans going on out there. U.S. authorities seize over 20 million in crypto in massive darknet crackdown. And I could go on. But you know what? I want to talk to you about Nigeria. We've all gotten the Nigerian email. It's world famous. But in Nigeria, where the way of life... Now, this is very interesting. Some of the poorest people in the world live in Nigeria. Okay? But I encourage you, you don't have to do it right now, but at some point I want you to go to Google and I want you to type in or speak. You know you can talk to Google, right? You can say, who are the world's richest pastors? It's going to blow your mind. Out of the top 10 richest pastors in the world, if I'm not mistaken, 7 of them are in Nigeria, which is one of the poorest countries in the world. Median income is, you probably have more money in your pants pocket right now than the gross GDP per individual in Nigeria. It's a very sad situation. So to see this dichotomy that you've got the richest pastors in the world and the poorest congregants, doesn't seem quite right with that picture. But I've verified it and re-verified it, and it really is a fact. But I said all that to say this: the good folk in Nigeria who aren't sending out those emails to you informing you that a uncle you did not even know you had passed away and left you a lot of money, and it's only going to cost you a few bucks to get it. You know the routine. Some of you have even fell for it. I have close family members who've fell for it. But the people of Nigeria are now using Bitcoin to hedge against its Naira. That's Naira. I assume by the time I come back, you'll know exactly what Naira is, and you might even know how to pronounce it correctly. But for now, we go to Michael for a recap of everything that happened today in the live training room. I'll be back with John to talk with you, answer your questions, take a broad look at the markets. And while Michael is showing you what happened in the live training room, if you have not gone to investmentgrade.gold yet, you should go there straight away. Get that starter pack. I want you to study up, read up, so that you and I will be on the same page, and then we can talk about this intelligently and rationally each and every day right here on CFRN. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Dwayne.
Hey, Michael. Okay.
I'm here.
Here you are.
I'm here.
All right.
I am indeed.
Let's see. Looks like there's something over in that chat box.
Yeah, let's go see.
Goodness.
It is.
That's a whole
Curve
lot of
for
something
trading
going
is
on.
significantly shorter than it used to be. The question is, do you think the learning curve for trading is significantly shorter than it used to be? Well, you know what? We've been doing the same exact thing. So all you have to do is learn what we're doing and apply it. You know, we use the same indicator set, the same time frame, the same trade setups on all the markets. So that should significantly reduce the learning curve for you. It should.
Yeah. I'm trying to scroll down.
Okay.
Let's see. Zach, I think your question probably deserves perhaps more of an answer, but I'm not sure where do you think the learning curve for trading is significantly shorter than it used to be? Well, I'm just going to say, Michael and I don't always agree on everything, because if two people in business always agree on everything, well, then one of them's not necessary. So, right? That's why.
Yep.
So, okay, I'm going to say, okay, do you think the learning curve for trading is shorter than it used to be? No, absolutely not. In fact, it's probably steeper because there's more stuff. People are throwing more things at you that you need to buy and have and look at and weigh and decipher before you can put on a trade. Analysis paralysis, it's called. Now, with us, see, our motto is trading's not easy, but it can be simple. So everything that we strive to do is to demystify and unconfuse traders so that they can just see what's really important. And all you want to do each day is reach your daily goal. I mean, if you want to hang out and think about all that other stuff and toss it back and forth, you could, If you want your MACDs and your stochastics and your advanced declines and your trends and your tricks, have at it. We used to do that. Michael and I did. We sure did. Man, our screens were so full of stuff, barely see the candles. So we realized we were going in the wrong direction. The answer was not more stuff. The answer was just the stuff that matters. And that's what I think we've successfully done, because we haven't changed a thing in 5 years. Am I right?
Right. You are right.
He's right. I'm right. Okay.
He's right.
So if you hang out with us, then the answer to your question is yes. If you're still out in the world, I got to say the answer is no. And with that, I'll hit mute, and it's all yours, Mike.
Okay. And Fuad made some statements in there. He said the concierge trades are more scalable than the trade room strategy, At 15 contracts, there is slippage, and I think that at 20 contracts, one is maxed out unless you are trading the ES or crude mainly.
Okay, now what market is he trying? Are you trying to trade the Russell on Globex, or tell me what's happening there? Because I don't know what kind of overnight volume there is on the Russell, but I don't think there's a lot.
During the room, he's usually trading the Russell during the room.
Okay.
But today he traded crude. Okay.
Yeah. Now here's the thing, guys. If you're going to trade, 20 contracts as an example, if it's on the S&P, you probably can get them all filled at the same price, usually. And I would think so with crude too. Most of the 23-hour trading session that we have. But when you get into the Dow and the Russell, you have to accept, if you're going to trade in that kind of size, that you might get 5 filled at one price and 5 filled at another price, and then maybe you get 10 filled at yet another price. And that's just part of doing business in that market. So there's no avoiding it. It's just the way the bid ask and the spread works in that market. So that's, I think, why so many people are attracted to the S&P, because of the deep liquidity. But usually the people talking about the deep liquidity are the people who are still trading one contract. So it doesn't become an issue until you bump up your size in the S&P and in crude. All right, back on mute. Take it away. No, seriously, take it away.
Oh, my mic was off.
Sorry.
Okay. He says, I am now watching 6E and crude as well. He's happy with the trading, just now looking at an additional strategy. The ES tends to lack setups. It does tend to lack setups. Okay. So here, let me get started with my recap. Okay. Here we go. Bring that over. Audience view. There we go. Audience view. Audio. Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 27th day of June 2018. Yeah. 27th day of June 2018. Let's see. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net, and right here says free 5-day trial or 5-day free trial. You can click on apply.cfrn.net, or you can scroll down to any one of these big buttons. Free 5-day trial, no credit card required, or proprietary indicators free. Yeah, and all the way down at the bottom, there's another one. Start free trial, no credit card required. Okay. When you do that, you will be sent to this page right here. Okay. Where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. You hit that submit button, and you'll be sent to confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, well, you will not get a free trial. Okay, you must click on the confirmation link. All right. All right. Let's get into what's next. This spreadsheet. Okay. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Okay, we had a battle today to get the goal for the day. It started off okay. Our very first trade, we were plus 5 ticks, and I thought we were gonna knock it out on that first trade. And then we just had to struggle after that. Oh gosh, I guess we're still in 2016, 2017, 2018. Here we go, 2018. As I said, today is the 27th day of June, 2018, and today we made 7 ticks in the euro, 10 ticks in crude. We lost 8 in gold, and we made 3 on the ES. That put us at 101.25. So today took 96 minutes. We really had to work for it today. 96 minutes and 12 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up 101.25, and we took a total of 13 opportunities. So on the month now, we're at 2,162.50. That's over 16 days, averaging 135 per day. That's one contract, 2 hours a day. On the year now, we're at 19,062. That's over 116 days, averaging 164 per day. It's 164 per day. Okay, now let's go and take a look at where those 12 trades went. Right here was a long trade on the gold. It took forever for this thing to stop us out, but it did it did eventually stop us out. If I'd gotten in right at the top of the bar, it would have been a break-even trade right here on the very next bar, but I got in 1 tick above, and it never gave 4 ticks in profit. So it tanked right here, right at the end of the room. It tanked right here really quickly. You can see down there the 1124, 1124.35, right there, 1124.35, that bar, 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 that bar. All those bars were 1 second. Okay, so you had to be on top of your game to be able to get anything out of that. Then it had a momentum long trade right here during the break. Okay, the euro. What did we end up doing with the euro? Okay, we had a couple of opportunities here. The first one right here, we took 5 ticks. The next one over here, we took 2 more. That put us at +7 on the euro. During the break, it's trading below the BBC with bullish divergence, so it's trying to do a cycle reset. Then it does a really ugly cycle move, and there were no trade setups there during the break. Okay, on crude oil, we were back and forth with crude today. As I told you, we had crude inventories come out today, and man, did they miss. Here it is right here. Our first opportunity of the day was right here. We picked up 5 ticks there. Then we had a break even here. Then we had a stop out there. Okay, crude inventories came out. They were minus 9.9 million barrels. They were expecting minus 2.1, I think. And when the API numbers came out yesterday, if you look at this is where prices were when the API numbers came out yesterday. And you could see by the morning, it had already built in a huge gain in price. Okay. And I was thinking it's going to come back down here to this area, and it probably will. But right now, it's just still pushing the highs. Okay. Let's go back here and go over the setups that we did or didn't do. Okay. So we showed you the 5 there. The break even there, the stop out there, that put us at -3. Okay, then I had 3 right here, but I missed this. I missed that, and I got 3 there to put us back to break even. I missed that, and then I picked up 10 there to put us at +10. And that's where we ended the day on crude. We had 1 more break even. See, during the break, there was a bounce off the BBC right here for a nice move up. Okay, and then right in here, I had a little bit of movement. Change of direction, and right there had a nice leg down. Okay, and that was it. Now in the euro, the ES. Sorry, the ES. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. That's right. We had a break even here. Then we had a stop out there that put us at -8 on the ES. Then we picked up 7 ticks there, put us at -1, and 4 ticks here to get us to +3. And that was where we got the goal for the day. Now, since then, it's been bouncing around a bit, but it hasn't given up anything. Okay. Hasn't given up anything. All right, and that was all that. Okay, so here we go. Back to the spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today's the 27th day of June, 2018. I made 7 ticks in the euro, 10 ticks in crude, lost 8 in gold, and made 3 in the ES. That got us to 101.25. Took 96 minutes and 12 trades to get there, and we took a total of 13 opportunities this morning. So on the month now, we're at 2162. That's over 16 days, averaging 135 per day. And on the year, 19,062. That's over 116 days, averaging 164 per day. Okay, that's 1 contract, 2 hours per day. Now, if you have not taken the free trial with us, it's really simple to do so. All you have to do is go to the homepage here at CFRN.net, right over here where it says apply.cfrn.net, click that. Or you can do it there, you can click on any of these free 5-day trial things. Okay, when you click that, it's going to bring you to this page, and on this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. You hit that submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the trial. All right, so you never get a trial if you don't click the confirmation link. Okay? Okay. That is what I have for the recap for today. So with that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. And John is in the room. Play.
Okie doke. I want to show you something here.
Okay.
Quick. My compadre. Where did that go? Today I'm having one of those days where the chat box blows up. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. I could open that up on my other. Yeah, I got another computer here I can open it up on. So that's probably what I'm going to do. But it has absolutely nothing to do with what I was going to show you. So let me not sidetrack myself. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Oh, I see. I see. Simple Simon, said the pieman. Okay, come on. And that's another thing I need to fix. Well, I fixed the whole thing. When people tune in, I hear just to hear that guy talk to himself every day and mutter and mumble under his breath. And I say, well, you know, whatever gets you through the night, baby. So, all right, get over here. On the Google Plus blog, emini.cfrn.net. Do not try to memorize this. You might hurt yourself, and our insurance does not cover that. So just go to emini.cfrn.net, and this beauty will pop up. There are more free Emini resources, training videos, Q&A sessions, webinars, training on this one page than all the other Emini stuff publicly available on the internet. And I challenge anyone to prove different. And I'll leave that at that. That's not what I want to show you. What I want to show you was this. Right here. Some of you know, others don't, that naked short selling was one of the reasons that CFRN actually was birthed. That was part of the reason. Me and a group called the Dirty Dozen, we were vigorously fighting against it. And, well, the SEC and the DTC finally just kind of shut us down and told us to shut up and go away. So I did, because I needed to earn a living. 5 years later, the guys ended up making a documentary, and it's right here. And you can watch it absolutely free. Just click that picture. It will take you to tubitv.com. Now, or just Tubi, this is an app that you can put on your TV. This is an app that you can put on your phone. It's a lot like Hulu, except it's 100% free.
The bad guys want
100% free. I couldn't believe it either. Now, you don't get your blockbuster movies or your top-rated new TV shows, but my goodness, you get thousands and thousands of TV shows, the whole series, movies. You can put it on your phone right now. If you go to the App Store, just type in TUBI. It takes about 30 seconds to put it on your phone. And if you got a smart TV, go to the apps section, search Tubi. It'll pop up, put it on your TV. It's like you got a whole nother cable feed coming into your house suddenly. It's really quite exciting. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, we've been talking about CFRN investment grade gold. That's investment grade .gold. And these are the winds of indecision blowing in over Wall Street. You see that, Michael?
Yes.
When I get done, this is going to be pretty awesome, but I'm not done yet. Now, on those tweets, I just want to show you guys. Well, that's the blog. Here's the tweeter. They started right about here. The first one I put out was the gold, and that's the one, the only one. You know, we were very fortunate. The only one out of the 6 that did not run to its target. It tried, but it didn't get there. But the Dow, the Russell, and towards the end of the show, after we talk to John, whoever's left, I'll walk through some of these with you and answer any questions that you have. Be very happy to do that. And also, You told them, today's Wednesday, it's not Thursday.
Today's Wednesday.
So
Yeah.
I got another day.
I got another day.
And, okay, so let's open up John's mic and see what's going on. All right, let's open up
Okay.
John's mic, Michael.
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
John is now open.
Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Good to have you.
It's been quite a day today,
Yes, sir.
and unfortunately, this is one of the only days I didn't wake up kind of like around 4 in the morning, which 3 or 4 in the morning, where I could have picked the bottom of the market.
Well,
But,
you check the Twitter feed later. I was there for you. I was hitting
Thanks.
hard for both of us.
Yeah, well, I had buy stops in and to capture that way, so it worked out pretty well. We had at one point the Dow was up more than 300 something points off its lows, maybe more. Anyway, we sold the highs, and then there was a big sell-off, and then there was a rally, and we sold that. We bought the sell-off, sold the rally, and right now we're short again, and we're long the VIXs. So I mean, we've done everything 100% right today, which is really great. Do you know? Something pretty big happened. We were kind of screaming higher, sort of going into 11:30 or so, I think, and
Right here.
all of a sudden, we took a big dip,
Yeah.
and
I'm going to try to explain part of it right here. You keep talking, but you go.
well, look, as you know, we had this rally was basically partially, I guess, on a bit of a rebound coming out of Europe. Europe put in a pretty good bottom that kind of probably helped the market up. And then when Mnuchin came out, Treasury Secretary, and started, playing down the tariffs and things, and downplaying the tariffs, etc., then the market really took off and kept going into the open and right up to the highs. But it sort of ignored the leading indicators, and I think it was leading indicators, or maybe it was what's it? Can you pick up the news this morning that came out?
I sure can. Yeah. Tell me what you're looking for. You're talking about the economic reports?
Yeah, it was either orders. Oh, durable goods. That's what it was. Durable goods. Yeah, durable goods orders came in sharply lower, and I think leading indicators. I'm not sure about leading indicators, but
Well, here, I'll pull it right up. And guys, what I'm doing, so that all of you know, go to investing. You know what? Don't go to investing.com. Go to cryptodailyinfo.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page, and there's the economic calendar already opened for you. So, and the folks at investing.com, we tip our hat to them for allowing us to utilize their economic calendar. I've always spoke highly of it because it gives you every economic report from the U.S. to the tiniest country on the blue marble. What time were those out this morning? About 8, 9? Let's see. All right, high impact core durable goods order that came in lower than expected. They were looking for 0.5 and they got 0.3, negative 0.3. Last time they got 1.9. I wonder why the expectation dropped, or the forecast dropped so significantly from what we got last time.
well,
We got
it looks
home
like,
sales too. That was off by 0.5%.
yeah, I thought leading indicators came out today.
You know, it may be here, and I'm just overlooking it.
No, I don't see it. No. Anyway, look, they were down, and I think that's possibly what's spooking the market. But yeah, unfortunately, we're in a bit of a bear market right now because this is kind of bear market action, and it means that buying stocks can be very dangerous, and so you got to avoid that. And you can buy potential rallies, but this is pretty serious. What's going on here? This is really bad. I mean, to be, we're almost down. I mean, I don't know whether they're taking the thing down to the lows of last night, just to give the guys a chance to buy, on a dip. But they're certainly taking it down pretty substantially. Especially the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, look, the Nasdaq and the mid cap are the weakest links now, and this is never a good thing when that happens. So, the semiconductors are in a lot of trouble, and that is a big problem for this market. And actually, the medical, the drug sector is tanking as well. Fortunately, we got out of all these things at the highs, and it's really this is quite a difficult market right now to be trading. The crude got up to nearly $73. Oh, it did get up to $73 this morning, and that's pretty extraordinary. But in spite of the by the way, the VIX has gone way back up again too, which I think I said to you yesterday, I think the lows on the VIX are in for the time being, and the VIX is starting to look threatening and potentially quite dangerous, actually. So there's a sort of a double top 39.50, and if that gets taken out, we could really, it's starting to look like that we're going to have a dip down into July the 4th. I've seen the movie before, and a lot of people think the market might rally next week into the 4th. It might not be so easy. It depends very much on the next couple of days how this, if we don't go down too much today, I would say the chances of rallying would improve. But
I must say that one of the most consistent seasonal type things that I've observed over the years is that no matter what the holiday, the market seems to want to rally into it.
Yeah, no, most of the time it does, but you got to be very careful with July the 4th. There's been a few instances in history where, we thought that was going to happen and didn't. But what is a fairly good bet is right after July the 4th, usually within a day or so, the market rallies very dramatically. So that's kind of, and in fact, look, it's if you look at the dailies here, you've got a potentially good bottom on the S&P. I mean, that double bottom there, if we don't go down much, and the S&P and the Dow, you remember I said to you about a week ago, the Dow is going to take over the leadership, and that's actually happened. So the S&P and the Dow are not looking too bad, really, and if we get back over about 2736 or so, could mean another leg up. But we'll have to see how the rest of the day plays out. Listen, the metals are just acting really bad, but I think the durable goods order coming in light and could be helpful. We're actually there's a reasonable chance. We're certainly looking for a bounce here, and if the platinum has turned higher, and what's been happening with this platinum is it's when it starts a rally, it tends to have a pretty good rally. If we rally out of here and get back up to the highs of the last couple of days, there's a pretty good chance the lows are in on the metals, but I'm not there yet. And but the divergences are such that you could argue that this right now it looks like a double bottom situation on the silver, and that would be as long as that doesn't get violated, that potentially sets the stage for what could be a great rally, and it could come out of nowhere. You could, one of these days, we might wake up and find gold's up $20 or $30, and I think the day that happens, the lows are probably in.
Every time that I think gold's ready to make a move, like last night when I sent out consider selling 1255 on the Concierge Trade Alerts, came down right here and stung me, and then came right back here and did it again. It dropped a point, but we're typically looking for more than that on the Concierge Trade Alerts. So, and then on the long side, well, actually there was confusion, and thanks to Lars, he brought it to my attention that I forgot to change the gold numbers last night. So I sent out a second email to everyone, and that's time consuming, but I gave you updated numbers, but I don't even want to talk about those because some people saw the updates, some didn't. But that gold trade that didn't manifest on the Twitter was to be long 1259 up to 1263. So we certainly triggered 1259 on 2 occasions, and we got up to 1260. What was the target? 1263. Okay, right at the zone, and we only got up to, looks like 1261.70 and 1261.90. So we almost got there, but hey, depends upon how you were managing it. You might have taken something out of it if you were trailing a tight stop. So how long, John, do you think? Let's go to a daily chart and take a look at gold. Haven't done that in a while. I'll get rid of the soybeans here. Soybeans.
Well, the thing about the gold is it's kind of pacing out right now, and you know, I've seen the time when this has happened before. You know, that spike down this morning. If we start getting back over, what's that? That's the beans. Sorry.
Yeah, it was the beans. I just want to turn it into a daily gold chart. So crunch it up a little bit. Boy, what is that over there? This is December.
It might take out that. It might take that low out a bit. That December low actually was because I remember I bought it there. It was 1239. It may be a different price on this chart because of the you know, the way the things have gone forward, but we got down to 1239 back then. So we're probably going to take this out a little bit, you know, by a smidgen, and then we could move up quite a bit. Can you put up the silver in the same time frame?
I sure can. Let's see, GS. Don't pull up silver too much. We need GS. We're in Q on gold. We need to be in Q on silver.
Yeah, September.
Yeah, there we go.
September, Dwayne.
Yeah. What letter are you looking for?
U.
Okay, so silver trades with the S&P and with the other markets here that we've got on September. That's what was throwing me off. I thought gold and silver traded the same month.
No, they don't.
Oh.
You need September silver.
Yeah, what I need to do is I need to make this disappear on my chart. I don't have a select all over here. I got to fix that. Okay, boy, we're going to have to go continuous at GSI. That's the only way we're going to get enough data in.
No, September you need some. September.
Well, this is the continuous one. So this has September, and I mean there just wasn't much data to look at there for the September on server. So look at this. I mean, goodness.
No, that's bad. Can you go back to
tell me which one.
To December? There you go. See, the thing about you know, right now, I mean, stranger things have happened, but if we did get a rally from here, you know, if we find a bottom somewhere around here, maybe a double bottom and then take off, that's a perfect scenario because it's a positive divergent bottom, i.e. gold would be making a lower low and silver does not make a lower low. That's usually a pretty potent formula for an upside move.
I did not get your take the other day. We ended up losing you on that conversation Monday. You and I talk a lot about gold, but we're talking futures, we're talking bullion, we're talking mines and mining companies. Have you ever invested in numismatic or investment grade coins?
No, I haven't.
Do you know anyone who has?
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
How do you see it as part of a diversified portfolio? Do you place it in?
Well, I think it's, you know, look, if you're a guy who thinks that we're going to have some sort of Armageddon around the corner, it doesn't hurt to have you know, negotiable coins with which to potentially buy things, you know.
Right.
So,
Yeah, my first experience when I got out of the Navy, I had no when I got out of the Navy, I had no experience, and all of the jobs in the newspaper that say no experience needed are all sales jobs. And it just so happens that one of the first ones I went out on, of course, I got hired. They were selling gold coins over the phone. You know, completely different from what Dr. Tom does. I mean, these people were throwing shade left and right. I couldn't believe it. We had these big metal desks, and the pros, the guy that had been there for a long time, they'd be talking to Mr. Jones, you know, who had bought from them before, and they were trying to reload them, get another order. The guy would open the drawer on his big metal desk and lean down with his receiver on his phone and start talking with his head inside of that drawer. And it would echo, and he would say, "Mr. Jones, I'm just walking into the vault right now to check on, you know, your gold and make sure every bit of it's still." I was like, oh my God. I was just hoping the shift would end before the feds kicked in the door and hauled us all away. So needless to say, I didn't stick around at that job very long. But here we were in this little, you know, this little dingy office in some strip mall somewhere, office complex, and unbelievable. Folks, when you get those calls, just, you know, if they call you, just hang up or don't pick up. I'm starting to get so many telemarketing calls on my cell phone. I never got that before. And there's actually apps out there now that will help you deflect a lot of them so your phone never rings. But anyway, that's been my experience with numismatic coins, and of course that was not a good experience. So I'm trying to take a look at it now with an open mind and to see what part of a portfolio should be in it. The thing with me, if Armageddon comes, I don't know, you know, when people have bullets whizzing around their head, do they really have time to think about the rarity of something or how collectible it might be?
no, I don't. I wasn't. Yeah, good point.
Now I have silver coins that are negotiable that I could go and try to get some milk with, and you know, a loaf of bread, you know, in smaller denominations, that kind of thing. And I think that's what you were probably referring to when you said exchangeable coins, spendable.
Well, you know, look, don't forget, you know, if gold goes through the roof, you know, and money is going down the drain, you know, anything you own that's tradable, negotiable is going to be highly bid. So, you know, it's going to be in great demand. So, you know, it is a good idea to have negotiable instruments in your possession for a day that might come when you need it, you know.
Yeah, now let's make sure everybody understands that if you have a shares in GLD or SLV, that's not going to help you. If you have a warehouse receipt for your bullion that's stored in a warehouse in Chicago, wink wink, that's not negotiable. Tom said something the other day, if you can't hold it, you don't own it, and that's something that I say pretty regularly when I'm talking about these ETFs, because I really think what the ETFs have done, it's criminal. It's part of the whole cabal, the cartel, whatever, because the people who buy shares in GLD and SOV, they're not traders. They're factory workers, or wherever they might work, at an office. They think they have exposure to precious metals, but they don't, and even if they did, in times of trouble, they couldn't get their hands on it. What are you gonna do? You rent a U-Haul and go to Chicago to the warehouse while people are shooting at you, or the Walking Dead are trying to bite you? I don't know. Go ahead, John.
So, look, we're really giving up a lot of ground. The Dow is still positive, and the S&P is barely. But boy, this is sort of more than a test. You know, you got to be careful of days like this because they could end up being very, very bad. And so it's and look, the Russell. You know, the Russell's been sort of it's been kind of like Old Faithful, you know, in Yellowstone Park. It's sort of
Here's the Russell on a 30.
yeah. I mean, Old Faithful in its ability to rally, but it can't rally anymore, at least for the time being. And it's been rallying to new highs on every one of these dips, but it's run out of gas, and this is a very dangerous situation when stuff like this starts to happen, because it could erode confidence, and you know, you could have a kind of a flash crash today if we don't nip this in the bud pretty quick. So
we hear all the time about the Pentagon fends off so many hack attacks every day in the White House and large companies. The exchanges, have you ever heard anyone talk about, you know, who the IT guys are there, that their whole job is security? Because if someone could hack into the exchange and start playing with these numbers, I mean, you could literally collapse the world economy with a few strokes. And the fact that it hasn't, you know, and I shouldn't speak it into existence, but I'm amazed it hasn't happened.
Well, there's been a few things that have happened that have been close. You know, Obama rattled Russia back on December 8th, I think it was 2016, when he did something that really scared the Russian banks.
What was it?
There's some sort of there was kind of a punishment for interfering in the election or something, supposedly. It was when he threatened, you know, we won't tell you when we're going to do it, we're just going to do it. So I think he sort of sent a warning. What a clown. You know, I think that conjunctively with the Space Force, Trump should have introduced a cyber force at the same time, because they're definitely going to need a cyber force for the future, and it could become a very big deal.
There was a short-lived TV program that I thought was actually pretty good. It had the lady from the TV show Medium that didn't get renewed on its 4th season, but it was it was called it was like the FBI. What was it called? The CCI?
Oh, I saw that. It was kind of,
yeah, it wasn't the greatest quality production, but I could watch it, you know.
Yeah. No, the cyber is, and this is another thing that Trump kind of really didn't press the point. You know, I hope when he meets with Putin, he should have done this with North Korea. He should have got a commitment from them to, first of all, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. I don't understand how in the world they didn't press for the artillery to be withdrawn from the border and put back in their barracks, because that's a better way to contain North Korea than anybody. And of course, they're all focused on nukes, and they're leaving the biggest threat in place, which is, to me, kind of insane. And you know, because if they had to withdraw to their barracks, they'd be sitting ducks if anything goes wrong. And secondly, if they started moving anywhere, you know, moving towards the border again, you'd know they were up to no good. So he should have really got those two concessions. Should have withdrawn all the artillery from the border and all armaments, period. And secondly, they should have you know, gotten a commitment from them not to do any hacking, you know, to stop hacking, because they've been up to a lot of mischief and that before. So those are two things. And you know, I said a year ago, I mean, I don't know why Trump took so long to meet Putin, because the fact that he didn't meet him, you know, all these Democrats, there's the Russia, a lot of nonsense. I mean, now there's a thing that just came out that Comey apparently stopped a deal being made with WikiLeaks, because it would have blown all these intelligence people out of the water, because it would have proven that Russia wasn't behind the hacking in the first place. So obviously, I mean, this whole thing is like the other day, one of these guys said, you know, are you going to be the covering? I mean, this is just insane. You got Sessions running the DOJ, right? Yeah. And they're not giving up the stuff. I mean, you know, they're covering up. What are they covering up? They're covering up Obama. They're covering for Obama because they don't want a big embarrassment to know that he was the mastermind of the whole thing. And it's pretty obvious. I mean, and they're covering, and it's the same thing. I mean, this Ray guy, what a waste of time he is. Oh God! I mean, listen, you know, he's supposed to be the head of the FBI. I mean, he's supposed to come in and clean this thing up, and it's just cover up after cover up. I mean, it's just a disgrace.
Who's the man for the job? Who do you think can straighten out the FBI?
James Kallstrom. James Kallstrom.
That's your pick?
He would have cleaned this up a year ago. I mean, you can't. I mean, it just makes the whole thing worse and worse now because it's just cover up after cover up, more people involved, and what do you want to defend people like Comey, or McCabe, and Strzok, and all these people? I mean, give me a break. It's terrible. It's terrible. And people are languishing in jails because they've been, put in jail illegally. Prosecutors trying to get a win. It's just rotten. The rottenness goes on and on. It gets worse every day. The rottenness gets worse every day. It's really stinks to high heaven, the whole thing. And Kallstrom should have been in there, and somebody like probably Janine Pirro or who's the other guy we wanted to get in? Giuliani. I think if Giuliani and Kallstrom were running the show, all of this would be cleaned up like yesterday. It would just be fixed once and for all, and all this nonsense would stop. It's much bigger. I mean, look, it's like now they're trying to say, give us the names of tell us who authorized the informants, of which there were at least 3 now, and they were two of them were giving misinformation to the Trump campaign, so to this guy Papadopoulos, about them. That's where he got the info on the emails. He didn't get it from Trump. He got it from an FBI informant. Can you believe it? Or an MI6 informant actually. And then the other thing is that they got this guy to go and see Roger Stone and offer him $2 million for dirt on Hillary. I mean, and of course they've been waiting. They've been after Stone to see if he was going to flip or something. Because they'd known this all the time, and he has absolute proof that he told the guy to get lost from the very first day it ever happened. So it's just rotten. The rottenness is just mind-boggling, and I mean I can't, the poisonous and the venom and the animosity of the guys in the special counsel is just absolute outrage, just a disgrace.
Well, no president that I've seen, heard, or read about has ever been treated with such great disrespect. Now, maybe there is someone in history before my time, that got kicked to the curb. But who do you know of any historical figure, president that was treated?
No, I don't. Look. To be, I said a long time ago, Trump probably committed, half a dozen, semi-mortal sins that, had he not done, and continued on this path, I think he'd be a lot more popular today. He's brought a lot of this on himself. Potentially with good intent, one way or another. But I mean, look, he really bought himself a world of hurt because of the way he treated McCain. Now, I don't particularly like McCain for what he's been doing recently, but I respect him for his service and everything. And he just had to either apologize to McCain or just call him a hero. All that time back, instead of because he lost a lot of people, he lost a lot of following by taking the stands that he did, but and it came back to haunt him because who got the dossier into the FBI? It was McCain. I mean, McCain kind of went AWOL on it, and then and this vote against the healthcare thing was another blow that was avoidable. So it's very, very unfortunate, but maybe it's calmed down a bit now. But there's a few things like that, and getting on the wrong side of a few of these senators hasn't helped either. Although it's kind of they're back to being pals again, but it's just a few things could have been done better. Let's put it that way.
Now, is McCain still showing up for work every day?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. We haven't heard much of him lately. I hope he's okay.
I mean, I know that for a while he attempted to work, and I have a lot of respect for that. When somebody, there's a pastor down in Denton, Texas, which I think is right outside of Dallas. Anybody who listens to CFRN radio, you've heard him many times. His name is, I knew that was going to happen. The Village Church, not Mark, Matt. I'll think of it in a minute. Somebody in the audience will help me out. But anyway, he was one of these healthy guys. Every day he gets up and run, or ride the bicycle, come home, not eat, some greasy snack, but have the granola bar. He was a guy that really took care of himself, and relatively young, young wife, a couple young kids, and he was pastoring this huge church down there with like that one only has 4 or 5 campuses. But anyway, he comes home from his run or bike ride one morning, he's eating the granola bar, and he falls over on the kitchen floor, and he's got some type of inoperable brain cancer. And this guy just astounded me. After the doctors told him they couldn't operate, but they began a round of chemotherapy and radiation, within 2 weeks he was back in the pulpit. I mean, his hair's all fallen out, he's pale as could be, but he delivered some powerful sermons, and then he's got videos on the internet as he went through all of that, just talking to people, letting them know, because he didn't know that he was going to beat it. He had faith, he believed. Not all people beat that. In fact, the percentages were not in his favor at all. But he just kept working and preaching. He didn't want, I don't want a pity party. I'm just going to keep doing what God called me to do. And then, however it turns out, that's how it's supposed to turn out. And he's been cancer-free now, I think, for about 5 years.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, I was at the YMCA on the treadmill. I used to listen to his podcast. When I discovered this guy, he had years of sermons that I hadn't heard, and so I had quite a library, and every time I go to the Y and get on the treadmill, I would put on one of his sermons, about 45 minutes, which was just perfect. And then one day I put on the headphones, and some guy's weeping, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's not Matt, what's going on? And he never said what was wrong, but we don't know why God did this, and just hysterics. I'm like, oh my, I get home, get on the computer, and find out that this has happened with the brain cancer, but he's fine now. And so anyone out there that has any kind of an illness, and the doctors have given you a bad report, you know what? God is the one who has the ultimate say in these matters. He created you, he put life and breath in your body, and no one has the final say but him. So I'm not saying that you should ignore doctors and not take their advice and do the things. He did all the things the doctors told him to do. But ultimately, the things they did might have hurt him more than they helped him. They're using the same, because my brother, when he died a couple years ago now it's been, he went through the radiation and the chemo, and in talking to his doctor, his oncologist, I found out they're using the same chemotherapy drugs today that they were using in the 1970s. Every other area of medicine has progressed and gotten better. Not this. I was very surprised to hear that.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, they're using some new stuff too, which is the Keytruda and Opdiva and
right.
the other stuff, which is fantastic, and this and cholesterol lowering things and stuff like that are fantastic now. But chemotherapy is that's kind of you got to be the last resort, because there are better things around today, and any doctor that gives you the chemotherapy is probably not in your best interest. So.
He's giving it to you because he doesn't have anything else to give you.
Yeah. Well, they got to keep up with the times. They got to keep up with the development.
It's just the fact that the chemotherapy drugs have not changed since the 70s. I mean, wow, we really hit a brick wall on that one. But I saw a headline the other day about some kind of vaccination.
My earlier words about having a kind of a flash crash, it's actually happening right now. This is a very dangerous day now, because everything's turned down, and it's turning everything very, very negative. So
okay, guys, I'm gonna assume that live radio trade that we put on 2722 to 2714. Okay, we triggered, and we're potentially headed there. I wanted you to stay flat in this area here where it says flat here, but see what you get, because you got the zone below, which is the lowest weekly trading zone, and then you got this swing low here. So they went leg, retrace, leg, right up to the zone, over and over and over. Zone.
Yeah, well, I
Zone.
warned you about half an hour ago.
Yeah,
Half an hour ago. This
you
is
did.
bear market
Yeah.
conditions. Don't be
And
holding any.
yeah, what would be your best advice to yourself in a situation like this? You've got open positions, long.
I think you'd have to. Well, look, when this sort of stuff starts happening, you got to sell because you don't know something bad, something really bad is going on here. Knock these things down the way they're going down.
Okay,
You know.
now, are you speaking of just your trading vehicles or long-term investments? Maybe you own GE. Or
Well, if you're in, I think if you're in gold, I'd be sticking with the gold.
Sure.
Obviously, or
Yeah.
probably buying more. But
Right.
the you know, you might want to hold on to some small stocks that are. You know, I noticed that I actually have a sellout. Put a sellout in a couple of days ago on dry ships. Dry ships actually finally went up to about $6, $6.80. And we had a buy stop at 4 or 375, I think. So we caught this move up, and you know, I'd be looking to possibly buy another dip on this because you know what happened before. It went to $100 from this level not so long ago, a couple of years ago. And now the VIX is going crazy. I said this morning the VIX could be very, very dangerous here, and it already is. So it's VIX is about to take out this high of day before, yesterday's high. Yeah, that's very bad. There's something going on, and it's definitely not good, and you have to get out of the way because there's a danger of the market crashing. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Guys, you've got over 4 points in this trade right now. So
yeah, you got China is down 20% or something. It's a real disaster in China, and if anything's going to knock the world economy down, it's China.
Let me tell you, John, right here, I've got the Asian markets today. At the close, the Nikkei was down 70 points. The Shanghai was down 31. The big one, though, was the Hang Seng. They lost 525 points, which is almost 2%.
Yeah, that's a lot.
At the European close, everything was green. Everything looked just fine there.
Yeah. No, look, the Chinese yen is going parabolic to the downside. So, look, it might last another few days because it's a kind of a three-wave pullback. And the FXI is another one.
I don't think we can get the yuan. Go ahead if you need to get that. You can get it.
Yeah, okay. Listen, I better run.
Bye, John.
Okay. Thanks.
Talk to you soon. Nope, we don't get the yuan. Okay. All right, guys. 2 more points. We're down to 27.16. Okay. From 27.22 to 27.14. Just keep it. You got a nice profit in this, so just tighten your stop. Now it's an 8-point move from 22 to 14. And we're at 15.75. Okay. You never, ever, ever want to allow something like this to turn into a loss. If you get prematurely stopped out, if you're trailing your stop, and if you're trailing your stop and you get a little too close and it takes you out when you've already got, let's see, well, it's 17. Well, it's an 8. If you got stopped out with 5, 6 points, and this thing not only goes and does the 8, but potentially more, don't walk around hanging your head, sick to your stomach, because you had a plan. You knew exactly how to trail your stop, and that's exactly what you did. And now you should be, okay, there's money. Now you should be pleased, okay? You see that pullback right there? All right, the low was down 20, what did we get for a low so far? 27.15 quarter, and we just pulled back up to 27.18, I think it was. Okay, now as we approach here, in fact, you know what? I could probably illustrate it better if I went. Ooh, baby. Look at that. The NQ. based on the tweet from last night, we caught that here, okay? We caught it from 70.55. Our target was 70.35. Why? Well, there's the zone. You see how the tweets, the Concierge Trade Alerts, if you have the zones, if you can piece that together and triangulate, when, I give you 70.55 down to 70.35, that's 20 points at $20 a point. That's $400 per contract. Yeah? Now, well, but the zone's 52 or 32.33. Why did you say 35? Yeah, because zones are an area, and it could pull up 2 ticks short or 3, and as long as you got your stop right behind it. I mean, you could be trailing here, right? But already you're questioning yourself because it's gone down, it's touched the zone, and it bounces. See here, we hit the zone and bounced, and we hit the zone and bounced. And look what this bounce turned into. This is that same old tired thing that I've drawn you a million times on this radio program. You break through a zone, you pull back to test the zone to make sure that it's going to serve as good support, and you're off to the races. So I can't draw a straight line. I'll try again. There. I just can't see it. You get my picture. Yeah, there we go. Leg, retrace, leg. Yeah? Now we're right back here. Okay? The fact that buyers didn't, well, they may have come in early, but the selling, swarmed them, overwhelmed them. There are obviously buyers positioned here. Well, you know what? They did come in early because this is the low, the previous low over here. So they certainly did come in early, as we would expect. Now, when this bounce begins, do I want to get long the NQ? No. This is a downtrend. To get long at this point would be counter trend. And so at this point, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to buy it. Anything I was going to do would have had to happen prior to this. Now last night, let's see, NQ. This is, what in the world did I? Oh, I never finished up here. That's right. Okay. It was by 71.35. Okay. All right. And so from 71.35, it ran up to 71.50. 51. So we've got 15 points at $20 a point. Okay, we'll call it 300, I guess. Maybe that's better. $300 per contract. Now remember, the S&P, the Russell, the NASDAQ, and the Dow cost you $500 per contract to trade those. We're in the Wednesday session right now. Okay, tonight. The markets are going to close at 5 p.m. Eastern. They're going to reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern. When they reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern, it's no longer the Wednesday session, it's now the Thursday session. If you hold an order open from Wednesday to Thursday, that 1 hour, your margin on that, that's the S&P for instance, or the NQ, Russell Dow, it's going to go from 500 to 5,000. Be flat when the market closes. And if you open a new position at 6:01 p.m. Eastern, you'll enjoy day margins for the next 23 hours. And that's, I think, important. So we get a move up through this zone. We pull back to the zone, and we run from 70.33 up to, what did I say that was? 70. That's 120 points. That's $2,400 per contract if you've been around long enough that you recognize this little thing I've been drawing for years, go to the blog or the YouTube channel and go back a couple years and watch a radio show. See his little drawing his little tyro stick figure, because that's how markets work. And when it's coming down, it will often do the same thing. Are there times when it doesn't do that? Yes. But based on historical observance, it's something I'm willing to hang my hat on, okay? For the purpose of finding something tradable. Okay. 70.32.33. I know today's only Wednesday, but it's such a kind of an important day in the grand scheme of things. I thought I would throw a couple other things out. Is there anything up here zone-wise? Is this what we're running into? Not yet. The next zone, now there's a zone here at 71.17/18. 71.17. Yeah, right in here. Okay, we had a zone here, and price pretty much cruised through it like it wasn't even there. That does happen. That's the hot knife through butter. But the next zone overhead, although we're not headed in that direction, it's going to be 79/80. Okay, 79/80. We might need to ask ourselves what's below. 70.32. What's below that? Oh, that's the lowest weekly zone for the NQ. We've hit the lowest weekly zone on the S&P, and also oh dear, come on, just move it. All right. Partners had these numbers, the zones. 6:15 a.m. Monday morning, before Wall Street woke up so they could get their charts all set up. And as you can see, that's, you know, whether you trade zone to zone or how you choose to use them. Remember, you can go to Google and just put in CFRN weekly trading zones, and you'll get a page full of articles, videos, charts, etc. Depending upon how you use them, I mean, the information becomes quite valuable. Now, in the first article that you'll read, if you do that search, if you're interested in it, I talked about a associate, mentor that I had early on, who had what he calls some levels that I never really understood. And I kept asking him, hey, well, show me how to turn this into, you know, cash flow. How do I take this and make it, you know, I want some dead presidents. And he was never able to convey that to me. So I hope in that series of articles, and I hope that in the one-on-one mentoring sessions that we do and in the partner workshops, to all partners, my greatest goal is to make sure that you know how to use this tool that we give you, because and those of you that have the Concierge Trade Alerts to layer on top of that, well, it's good. And I appreciate the phone calls, I appreciate the emails, don't stop, but the fact that you're very low key about it, the guys that call up dancing, you know, and screaming and shouting, I'm happy for them. I am, but I've already told you about this. I have to kind of talk them down. But it's the ones, those of you who call me up and go, hey man, I go, hey, what's going on? I don't know. I'm working. How can I help you? I just wanted to say thank you. For what? Oh God, did I miss another session? No, I just want to say thanks for those zones, or the alerts, or both. And very low key. I'm like, you know, it's like the quiet librarian. And that really grabs my attention. I go, oh, well, you're welcome. And they're like, no, you don't get it. I go, well, what don't I get? I mean, thank you. Okay. And, I'm not going to lie. Does that, make me feel good? Yeah, I'm glad that anytime we accomplish something, anytime we as humankind contribute something of value to another human being or society at large, you should feel good. False modesty it's devious, possibly even evil. So stay away from false modesty, but also don't become the guy that beats your chest and goes swinging through the trees. Because when you misnavigate and hit one of those trees, it smarts. Poor Sonny of Sonny and Cher. What a way to be taken out of this game called life. Skiing, having a nice time, and all of a sudden just gone. Just gone. And we see it all the time. Brave young men and women, they go to Iraq, Afghanistan, they fight, they put their life on the line, they might even come back wounded, and then they get hit by a bus crossing the street or some other equally silly, insidious thing, and you start questioning all kinds of stuff, and you have to catch yourself and go, you know what, God, that's your territory. Let me just stay out of it. Scripture says that everything works together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And sometimes that's all that will bring us back from the brink of despair, is to not only believe that scripture, but to write it on the tablet of our heart. It can get you through a dark time. Anyway, this might get too far off track here. So, those of you that call with that calm, quiet librarian type voice and just say, man, I just want to say thanks. I'm starting now to even more understand, the magnitude of what's really going on. Now, those of you that are very excited, I'm not asking you not to call. I love to hear a happy voice, but I will have that talk with you, that the pendulum swings both ways. And I don't mind you being, happy and chipper and singing a song, but I don't want you, curled up fetal under the desk because you have a day that by comparison is equal to the good day. It's just it went in the other direction. I mean, that's the truth about trading. It happens to the best of the best of the best. It happens. Sarai? Sarai. Okay. Enough of that. Crude oil. Now, I don't know if I adjusted these zones already or not. I don't think I did. 72.90/90. No, I did not. Although, here it is Wednesday, and here's the value of last week's weekly trading zones. Yeah? Okay. The Concierge Trade Alert last night was to buy 1270. No, it wasn't. Not on crude. It was to buy 7105. Dang. No wonder there's so many happy faces out there. 7105. Come on. My mouse. The incredible disappearing mouse. Folks, let me put you on hold just 1 second. Yes. Okay. Now I lost my mouse again. Alright. We're going to get this wrapped up pretty quick. If you got any questions, put them in the chat box. We covered a lot of ground, talked about a lot of things. Had an extra blessed Globex session. And today just provided us with some great opportunities. Oh, did we ever make that S&P trade? Did we ever? Oh, what's the swing low? 27.15 quarter. What was the target? 27.14. Did we get there? We did not. So that little talk I was having about, you know, the trailing the stop and it never let something like this. If you're out there right now saying, boy, I put on this trade, and this would have been me back in the beginning. You know, I put on a trade. That guy on the radio, he said 22 down to 14. I'm gonna take me 8 points out of the S&P. Now it came down and gave me, I don't know, 6.5 of the 8 or whatever. Well, it's kind of like, maybe this is more relatable. Your goal is to take 8 ticks out of the S&P. So you get into the trade, things are looking good. It runs up 6 ticks, like just right away, and then it gets up to 7 ticks, and it starts to churn. And you're 1 tick away from glory. Actually, 2 ticks, because it needs to trade through your target. And then it starts to back up, and you're like, whoa, no, don't do that. And now you've got 5 ticks. Oh boy. And then it goes back up to 7, back down to 5, back up to 6. It's like the market saying, hey, I'm willing to give you 7, you know, 6 if you get slipped, but do you want it? No, I got into this trade to get 8 ticks. It's 8 or nothing. I used to sit at my desk and say that. It's 8 or nothing. And the market would just slap me silly. Like Mo and the Three Stooges. Yep. Don't do it. Don't do it on an 8-point trade. Don't do it on an 8-tick trade. Be humble enough to take whatever the market is willing to offer you. Now, I'm not saying to sell yourself short. I'm not saying scratch out of trades prematurely. But when there's even the hint of some handwriting on the wall, that price, you know, just maybe isn't going to go that other point or isn't going to go that other tick, and you have to determine for yourself when that is, okay? Our rules-based trading in the live training room, I'm not suggesting you do that there, but when you're trading discretionary with the zones and the alerts, this is when you have to know where you're going to draw the line. Because from 22 down to, what did it go to, 15.25? So we're going to 50, you got 6.75, okay? It was an 8-point potential trade. So far, it's gone to 6.75. Okay. So the best you could hope for, if your goal, if you're planning to bail once you hit the 14, you could potentially pick up another 1.25. Or if you mess around, you know, depending on where you've trailed your stop, if you haven't moved your stop, then there's always a chance that you could give back that 6.75. That's unrealized gains until either you take yourself out of the trade or the market takes you out of the trade. I'm glad I brought that up earlier. Don't let something that just fell into our lap, that beautiful trade fell into our lap, saw it coming, were able to take advantage of it, and to be thwarted here. And so if you only get out with 5, I mean, that's a great trade. Remember, 2 points a day? So on your 8-tick trades, S&P, 2 points, or if it's gold or crude, you know, you need 10 ticks there because it pays $10 a tick, not $12.50. Maybe price rolls up to, you know, 8 ticks, stalls, pulls back to 6, goes to 9, pulls back to 7. I mean, you know how it just channels back and forth and back and forth. You can sit there and make yourself crazy, you know, bite your fingernails off, or you can just scoot that stop loss up there, maybe a tick, 2 ticks, whatever, behind price, fully expecting that the market is going to take you out. And the sooner it does, the better, because you can start breathing again, right? Well, yeah, but now I don't have my goal for the day. Okay. If that was your first trade, you've got 9 more trades in your arsenal before you have to dig into your rollover trades from previous days. Our strategy allots you 10 trades a day to reach your daily goal. If you reach your daily goal in 3 trades, that means 7 of your allocation will roll forward to tomorrow, which means tomorrow, if that's your second day trading with us, you've got 17 trades, 17 bullets in the old trading gun to reach your goal for the day. The 2420 blueprint is designed purposely. Now, I say we give you the strategy, the methodology gives you 10 trade opportunities per day to reach the $100 per contract gross. Okay. Now, what if you were not a very good trader? And there's a lot of us around who have that. We have a little thing we hang on our rearview mirror when we go to the grocery store. Not a very good trader, but anyway. What if it took you 10 trades every single day for the whole 24 months? The 2420 blueprint is designed to help you go from 1 to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. Well, why 24 months? Well, because we only add one at a time when it's appropriate, when we've earned enough to underwrite the cost of it, and we use aggressive risk management all along the way. So that's why. So what if over that 24-month period, what if it took me 10 trades every single day to reach my goal? Of course, some days it would be 5 and other days it would be 15. But if it averaged out to be 10 every single day, would I still graduate? Would I still be at 20 contracts at the end of 24 months? The answer is absolutely yes. You would. Your account size would be smaller than the individual who averaged 5 trades a day to reach their goal. But you'd still get there. Okay? And that's designed, there's a huge psychological component built into that, is to take the pressure off of you. Because we all know what it's like to sit down in the morning and get stopped out on the first trade. Man, getting kicked in the stomach by a mule could not hurt any worse. It's painful. And gosh forbid you get stopped out on the second one. You just want to take yourself out back and do something. I don't know. Bang your head on a tree. But yet, you know, if you got your training from us, that's part of the business. You will get stopped out. That's the truth about trading. No indicator, oscillator, guru, crystal ball. There's nothing that can stop you from getting stopped out. Obviously, you want to have more profitable trades than trades that get stopped out. Or your win-to-loss ratio in your discretionary trading needs to be such that you could have more losing trades than winning trades, or non-profitable than profitable. I don't like winning and losing. This sounds like gambling. So these are things that you have to think about. But the fact that we allot those 10, and they roll over, they never expire, they never go bad. So at 6 months, 9 months in, maybe you got 30, 40 rollover trades in your desk drawer that you know you can draw on any time. You need a little more ammunition to get that goal for the day. What's important is getting the goal for the day. It doesn't matter how many trades, because I hear it all. Oh, but then the commissions and stop. Okay? Stop. You got a blueprint. Just follow it. Just follow it. Let the edge work in your favor. Let the math work in your favor. People who I felt had everything it took to become someone who does trade for a living, and they short-circuited and fouled out of the game because they couldn't handle being stomped out. The commissions and everything else just drove them crazy. The broker made more money than me today. Oh, okay. Well, how much did he make? He made $800. I'm like, well, Now, keep in mind, your broker, he doesn't get all that money, right? The firm does. And everybody's standing in line with their hand out. So the broker, the person who actually helps you, whoever the Bert is in your life, by the time everybody takes their cut, and that $5.80 per round turn that I would pay to trade the S&P, by the time it gets to him, he might get 75 cents, buck and a quarter. I don't know. But in our minds, it's just, the broker made more money than I did. Okay. So the broker made $800 in commission today. How much did you make? I only made 600. I see. Okay. So on a 5-day week, if that was the average, you'd be making what, $3,000 a week? Well, yeah. But I'm not going to let that broker make more money than me. Really? Okay. Even though you're sitting on something, you might be making $3,000 a week. Could be. I don't know what you'll make. But your animosity towards the quote-unquote broker, whoever he is, whoever they are, just because at the end of a week he might make $4,000 and you made $3,000, you're going to walk off the job? You're going to throw in the towel? Have you ever had a job where you made $3,000 a week? I know some people have, and some haven't. So let's choose our battles carefully, okay? And here's one of the reasons that I have the relationship I have with my broker, who's Bert, is that, number one, I've known him for a long time, and of course, relationships matter. We talk a lot about that during the Good Word for the Day. Relationships matter. But I also know a little bit about who he is, okay? What's important to him. He's a God-fearing man. He loves his children. He enjoys spending time with them and coaching their little leagues or their soccers. Or he's a good guy, And so if I'm going to put $800 in somebody's pocket, I want to put it in the pocket of someone who I know is going to appreciate it and put it to good use. Do good works. Buy t-shirts for the soccer team, whatever. As opposed to, the other situation where you only talk to the assistant. The commissions you're paying, you don't know where they go. Okay? It's just the cost of doing business. Okay. I like to know, and I have no hard feelings if he goes home with more money off my trading on any given day than I do. All that matters to me is how I do. As long as I do okay, if he does better, well, God bless him. Maybe it's his influence on my life and my trading that allowed me to even earn what I did earn today. Now, that doesn't happen with a lot of brokers, but then there's not a lot of brokers out there like Bert. And those of you who use Bert as a broker, and I'm not pitching him because we don't get commissions or splits or finder's fees if you trade with them. We just think it's simpler because he understands our methodology. He knows our indicators inside and out. He'll spend time helping you set up your charts and working with you on Thursdays in that webinar and answering your questions. He's just a great guy. So why would I have an issue with seeing him prosper and do well? So enough of that. If it takes you on average 10 trades every single day for the whole 2 years to make $100 per contract per day, you'll still be at 20 in 24 months. Now, I'll tell you what will probably happen is something will happen along the way. You'll get sick, a loved one will get sick, you'll have to have braces put on, or the car will smack a bus, or you'll just go through a rough patch where we have to do, quite a few mentoring sessions to get you squared away and back on track because something in your brain broke. And with different people, it's different things. Let me take this opportunity to say this. When you come to me for a mentoring session, it's only you and I. And before I would ever post a video of that session on the internet, I would ask you for your permission. But during the mentoring session, I need you to be brutally honest with me, okay? Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. When I show you something, and I go, now, do you understand? And, nobody wants to feel silly. You say, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got it. Because you're thinking, I'll figure it out later. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Also, when I ask you, now in the training room, if that's where you're at, I'll say, are you following the rules to the letter of the law? Oh, you better believe I am. And then when you share your desktop with me, I see all these indicators I never even seen before. Or maybe I saw them in a past life. And I'm like, what is that? Oh, well, I thought you said you were following the rules. Well, I am, but I look at this too, and then I look at this. If this is yellow, yeah, see, I don't want to take your trade. Whoa, wait a minute. That's not part of our methodology, our system, our training. And so when I say, are you following the, just be honest. Go, no, I'm not. And a lot of people do. They just come right out with it, because I try to put people at ease. I try to make you feel comfortable. They'll go, as soon as I see the drawdown start, I hit sell market or buy market, and I get out of the trade. And that's just the worst thing you can do. Number one, you don't ever want to use the buy market, sell market button, because that will cost you money, real money, via slippage. And you should anticipate that every trade you enter is going to have a drawdown. Don't get that surprise, shocked look on your face when it draws down, because we know how markets move. Leg, retrace, leg, retrace. But once we get in a trade, we just want it to go leg, and ring the bell. Leg. It's not. It's going to go leg. So, and often, the second you enter, the drawdown begins. Oh my God, I knew this was going to happen. It happens to me every time, But it's not really every time. But it's often. And if you have that problem, guess what? I know why that happens. And I can help you. I can work with you so that it doesn't have to happen to you anymore. That's what you want. Okay. You really sidetracked me. I gotta go. Did this thing ever get down to 14? It got down to 1375, so it hit the target and traded through by one tick. So if you hung in there this time, you got gratification, satisfaction. Okay? Don't let this one instance color how you're going to handle things in the future. Because just as this thing came down and traded through the target, it could have turned on its heels and screamed up while you were looking out the window. Okay? Alright, so that's the S&P. The tweet was good. The trade alert was good. Now, we caught two-sided action. I guess I should throw that in too. On top of the tweet, on top of the long trade, on the email last night, it said if the opportunity presents, go ahead and sell 27.22. And those folks who have the alerts and the zones, I didn't have to tell them what the trade to target was. They know. They've already got it on their chart. If the alert says sell 27.22, well, what are you looking for? 27.13. That's 8 points. Right? Right. Well, that's supposed to be 27.22. Sell 27.22. I give you the entry. You know where the target is. Just like on this one, buy 27.31. Where was the target? 35. 35, which was 4 points away. Did it overshoot it? Yep. Could you have theoretically trailed your stop on up behind there? Absolutely. But you had a real good idea of where you were headed. And so 4-point trade, I'll take that any day of the week. Okay. And here, selling 27.22. Well, you know where your target is. Question is, will you get to it? You might not. It starts monkeying around like this. Oh, what's it at right now? 27.16. That's 6 points. Am I going to sit around and see if it can make it down to 13 to give me another, 2 points? Or am I going to take my 6? Well, I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to hit buy market. Okay. I'm going to drag my stop loss on the DOM 1 tick or 2 ticks behind price. I'm going to lock the back door so my profits don't get wiped out. But I'm going to leave the front door open because, hey, just as it moved up right there, it could have moved down. Best of both worlds. Okay. All right, that's the S&P. Is there any questions? That's funny, Bruce. I didn't know I let it out. Bruce says, I love to hear the Georgia come out in you. Okay. Maybe I'll have to go back and listen. Let's see, we're right at the, oh my goodness, we're at the 3-hour mark. See, the days that I worm out in an hour, just remember that some days I go 3 hours. No, wait, it's only 2 hours. God, I can't even tell time. So today's 2 hours. You got the full 2 hours today. Good for you. But if you go look at YouTube, there have been 3 and 4 hour shows where I'd get caught up in technical analysis and teaching someone something, and that's when I learn the most is when I'm teaching someone. So there's been some long marathon shows. Crude, I don't know if I ever managed to get to the point. The point was the Concierge Trade Alerts said to consider buying 71.05. At 72.05, that's $1,000 per contract. At 73.05, which we got the 73.06. I'm not making this up. Look, right there. See it pop up? 71.05 to 73.06. That's a $2,010 per contract trade. That's if you trailed, and that's if you got out at the exact swing high, right? Which, if you're trailing a stop, that's not going to happen. You're going to leave something on the table. And you could, in here, I'm sure this candle was all over the place, back and forth. You could have got stopped out there, but you had a nice profit. Or maybe you saw this zone right here and you're like, oh man, if I can just get to that zone, I'll be so happy. I'll be the happiest camper in town. Leg, retrace. That's a reasonable target. There's nothing wrong with that at all. 71.05 to 71.65. That's right there. That's $600 per contract available. Now from the trigger, these are 30-minute candles, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3.5 hours to get you that initial target overhead. Oh wait, I haven't fixed those yet, have I? That one I did. 71.65/70. That is this week's weekly trading zone. And then the next one is all the way up at 73.35.40. 73.40. 73.35. Okay, and then this one just has to go bye-bye. Oh, so we were hunting. No, because this one's right. 71.65. Yeah, and then below that is 70.40.45. Yeah. So that I got that one in there yesterday. So right here, okay, this move, this zone-to-zone move, and this may turn into a zone-to-zone move as well. In fact, at this point, I would be surprised to not see it reach up to the zone. But it started yesterday afternoon, consolidation at the zone, and then it began to mosey into the Asian session. But from 70.40 to 71.40, at this point right there, 71.40, that's $1,000 per contract move. So this entire move so far, 70.45. Well, if it got to 73.45, that'd be $3,000 per contract. And if you were here and hanging out to eke out that last little bit after you had all this under your belt, I would probably scold you. But then I would also realize that it's your trading business and you can do with it whatever you want. I feel so sorry for gold and all of us that own it. Jams, crickets, man. Perk up. At least try, you know. Put in some effort. The Dow. Oh, I don't even want to go into the Dow right now. We've covered the Russell, the NQ. I gotta run. I do. I really, really do. Okay. I'm gonna check the chat box one last time. If you have any questions, if you're gonna type in a final question, put a Y in the chat box so I hang around, because I know it takes a minute to type if you type anything like me. Emini Futures. I think we've you know, some days are just great days to be a trader. This is the day you'd be Fred Astaire dancing on the desktop if you didn't know better, because you had a great Globex, 5 out of 6 trades, ran to target. You had a beautiful live radio trade. You had two-sided action on your Concierge Trade Alerts. But I've learned the pendulum swings both ways. So, I might be jumping up and down on the inside. But on the outside, I'm just going to keep that blank stare on my face that I'm so famous for. Am I right? That must be. Gary. Okay, you know what, Gary? If I don't write that down, email Gary mentoring session. Okay, Gary, I wrote it down so when I come back after I take a little break here, I can't miss it. There. And by the way, for those of you who are partners and who do have regular mentoring sessions, I might not remember, but when we start the session, if you want me to record it, it's just a mouse click, and when the 45 minutes is up, you can then say, I don't want anybody to see that, but I want a copy. I'll send it to you. Or, like Gary did, you might say, you know what, if it can any way, if what we just went through can any way benefit someone else in the community, by all means, you post that thing. So it's up to you. Sometimes I think about it, sometimes I don't. So when you come in for mentoring, and maybe you're like, I don't want nobody listening to me ask questions, just up front, just say, hey, Dwayne, I'd like you to record it. It's like Gary did the other day. Then about halfway through, he goes, you are recording this, right? And I'm like, oh, man. So we got the second half of it. It's up to you. No extra charge. I'll even sign a copy for you. All right. Etiquette. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Wherever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.